What is up, everyone? Cyrus Hussain here, and welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're trying to learn AI right now, I know exactly how you feel. You are completely overwhelmed, right? And honestly, you absolutely should be, because right now, about 80% of the AI information out there is either completely outdated or it's just useless theory you're literally never going to use in the real world. But here's the good news. You don't need a PhD to get massive value out of AI today. You just need the right roadmap. So we're cutting through the noise. We are zeroing in on that golden 20% of AI that is actually practical, highly actionable, and most importantly, will still matter a decade from now.
So here's our map for today. We're covering beating the AI overwhelm, then diving into Path 1, everyday productivity, context over perfect prompts, and building personal AI systems. After that, we'll pivot to Path 2, the career builder, and wrap up with your 9-month learning plan. Whether you want quick, everyday wins or a deep career dive, we've got you covered. Let's get right into it.
All right, Section 1, Beating the AI Overwhelm, the fork in the AI road. To cut through the absolute avalanche of AI news, you've got to choose your ultimate goal first.
If you only have a minute today, this right here is your core takeaway. Look at this massive contrast. On one side, you have everyday use. This is all about mastering tools, prompt strategies, and productivity workflows. The best part? You don't need to write a single line of code here. On the flip side, you have career building. This is the hardcore engineering track, learning Python, machine learning, and deep learning algorithms. Listen, if you try to learn both of these at the exact same time without a clear plan, you're going to crash and burn. You need to pick the path that matches your current goals, and let's build from there.
Moving into Section 2, Path 1, Everyday Productivity, the 20% practical approach. We're going to slow down just a bit here and talk directly to the non-technical professional who just wants to supercharge their daily output. Choosing your go-to AI model is honestly kind of like picking a starter Pokemon. There's really no wrong choice among the big three, but each one definitely has its own specific superpowers. ChatGPT, that's your mature, reliable standard. It is absolutely incredible at web search and digging up research. Then you have Claude. Claude as the creative and analytical genius. It completely excels at writing, design, and coding tasks, which, by the way, actually matters for non-coders too, because things like data analysis run on code under the hood. And then there's Google Gemini. Gemini is the native mixed media powerhouse. Text, images, audio, video, it handles the whole shebang natively. And if you live inside Google Workspace, it is the undisputed king.
So how do you actually make your choice? Well, stick to these 4 rules. First up, prioritize the paid tiers. If your company pays for Gemini Advanced, but you've been using the free version of ChatGPT, make that switch to Gemini immediately. The gap between free and paid models is literally night and day. Second, match the tool to your actual daily work. Third, and I mean this, go with the vibes. Seriously, each AI has a totally distinct personality, and if you actually enjoy chatting with it, you're going to use it way more. Finally, and this is a huge one, always change your default model setting. These companies will default you to their cheapest, weakest model to save themselves money. You have to manually select the most powerful model you have access to.
Section 3, Context over perfect prompts. Stop memorizing prompt frameworks. Let me just give you permission right now to completely forget about those massive 10-page mega prompts you see people selling online. Instead of over-engineering everything, we're using the OC framework, outcome plus context. Because these AI models are so insanely powerful now, trying to hyper-engineer some magical prompt is a total waste of your time. Look, imagine you need to book a restaurant for your boss. You could spend 20 minutes agonizing over how to describe your boss's incredibly specific tastes, or you could just give the AI a list of 5 restaurants your boss recently loved and just say, hey, find me a place like these. The second approach, it wins every single time. A crystal clear outcome combined with real-world examples beats a perfect prompt, hands down.
So how do we give great context? Well, there are 3 incredibly effective ways to do it. First, explicitly name a framework. Instead of explaining exactly how to organize a report, just tell the AI, use the pyramid principle. It instantly knows what you mean. Second, just paste in real examples of what good actually looks like. If you need a weekly status update written, paste in your last 3 successful updates. It'll automatically match your tone and format. Third, connect your AI directly to your tools. If you use Gemini Spark or Claude Cowork, connect them straight to your Google Drive or Slack. The AI can pull the context directly, so you don't have to sit there manually explaining everything.
Section 4, Building Personal AI Systems, Compounding Your Knowledge. Listen, it is time to stop starting from zero. You should not have to introduce yourself to your AI every single time you open a new chat. So here's how you graduate from an amateur to a total power user. Step 1 is where most people are stuck: single chats. You ask a question, it answers, but the moment you close that window, the memory just vanishes. Step 2 is using projects in Claude or gems in Gemini. This creates a permanent home for recurring tasks where you can save standard instructions and reference files. But step 3? That's the holy grail: AI systems. This is where you use advanced setups to connect your individual projects so the AI can actually spot patterns across everything you do.
Now, here's a perfect example of how project memory works in the real world. As the source material jokes, let's say I injure my shoulder pressing 200-kilogram dumbbells. The AI would actually make a note of that and steer me away from shoulder-related exercises. Setting aside the humble brag about the 200-kilo dumbbells for a second, this perfectly shows how project memory functions. The AI remembers your permanent constraints and actively shapes all of its future outputs to fit your exact life. It literally gets smarter and more tailored to you every single time you talk to it.
All right, Section 5, Path 2, the Career Builder, building AI from the ground up. We are doing a hard pivot right now. If you looked at that fork in the road earlier and decided you actually want to build these incredible AI systems yourself, this is your roadmap, straight from Coursera's technical curricula.
Let's start with a little motivation, shall we? $136,620. That is the median salary of an AI engineer right now. Plus, the field is projecting a massive 23% job growth over the next decade. If you're looking to switch careers, the incentive is absolutely massive. But it's going to require some real work.
The absolutely crucial point here is laying the right groundwork. You can't just jump straight into building neural networks. You need a rock-solid foundation first. So, you need to grasp a basic statistics. We're talking things like regression and distribution. You need basic math, calculus, probability, and linear algebra. You're definitely going to need serious programming chops, heavily leaning on Python, though R, Java, and C++ are great too. You have to understand data structures, trees, lists, arrays, and above all else, you need relentless curiosity, because this tech literally changes every single week.
Now, once you have the math and the code locked down, you graduate to what I call the holy trinity of AI engineering. First up, data science. That's the art of extracting actual, meaningful human insights from massive oceans of raw data. Second, machine learning, writing the algorithms that learn from that data to make accurate predictions. And finally, deep learning. This is the frontier, building complex neural networks for advanced applications like self-driving cars or those massive large language models we were just talking about earlier.
Section 6, your 9-month learning plan, a structured technical roadmap. I know that last bit probably sounded like a full 4-year computer science degree, but I promise you it is highly achievable if you just structure it correctly. Here's exactly how this builds out over just 9 months. Months 1 through 3, that's your boot camp. You are living and breathing math, statistics, Python, and data structures. You're just laying the concrete here. Then, in months 4 through 6, you start building the house. You dive deep into data science, machine learning, and deep learning architectures. And finally, months 7 through 9 are all about deploying. You're getting your hands dirty with real AI tools like TensorFlow and PyTorch. You pick a specialization and you build those portfolio projects that are actually going to get you hired.
The most interesting part of all this is the actual data behind it. According to the World Economic Forum, you do not need a decade to figure this out. If you just want everyday productivity, that first path we covered, beginner AI skills take about 30 focused hours to learn. And if you want that deep, career-level technical mastery, a structured program takes just about 3 to 9 months. The barrier to entry is so much lower than most people fear.
So here we are at the end of the explainer, and I want to put this right back on you. You've seen the map for everyday productivity. You've seen the map for building an incredibly lucrative career in AI engineering. That 80% of useless noise, it's gone. The 20% that actually matters is right here in front of you. So the only question left is, which path will you start today? Pick one, boot up a model or a coding environment, and take your very first step right now. I'm Cyrus Haas. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you next time.